Hello, my name is Matt Steele. Thank you for checking in. I really appreciate it. You are the best for being here, and you chose wisely. I wanted to comment real quick on something that really bothers me. Let me start from the beginning. There has been discussion on, there's obviously a split among Star Wars fans because a lot of people did not like The Last Jedi. And because of that, these fans decided to do a boycott, spread it on the internet, Twitter, Facebook, however they could, boycott the next movie, which was Solo, a Star Wars story, to bring it down somehow and show their displeasure with the direction of the Star Wars franchise. Here's my take on it. Because of the displeasure of these fans of Star Wars The Last Jedi, they boycotted Solo, a Star Wars story. Solo, a Star Wars story, is not doing great at the box office. It had production problems. Ron Howard had to step in at the last second and make a bunch of changes. Apparently, somewhere in the percentage of 70-80% of the movie had to be reshot. There was also personal problems amongst the actors. The lead actor had apparently an acting coach. So, it's not doing good at the box office. Ron Howard even took to Twitter to share his thoughts on it. And to say how pleased he was with the hard work of his crew, which I don't doubt a bit. That they worked hard. And they probably went through a lot with two directors and a lot of production problems. Here's where I get a little spurred. I've been listening to some chatter on the internet about Solo and how it's underperforming at the box office. Not doing terrible, but underperforming for a Star Wars property. And there's displeasure in that. A lot of it is being blamed on the fan boycott because of the displeasure of The Last Jedi. Let me tell you first, foremost, and as clear as I can, that is bullcrap. That has nothing to do with Solo underperforming at the box office. It had production problems. It had acting problems. It had director problems. It didn't know what it wanted to be. The story was terrible. It wasn't exciting. But it's the fans that caused this. Don't you dare ever say that it was the fans that caused this. People just didn't go see the movie because it didn't get good reviews. It wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a terrible movie, but it wasn't by any means excellent. It definitely wasn't Star Wars worthy. If it didn't have Star Wars on it, I wouldn't have even saw it. Halfway through it, I probably would have turned it off, saying this is way boring. It was all over the place, and they threw in things. You could definitely tell there was possible production problems. So let me just be clear again. Because of the boycott that is being blamed for Solo, part of the reason it's underperforming. It is underperforming at the box office because it is not an interesting movie. It is not a Star Wars worthy movie. And that is the sole reason why. Very interesting stuff to follow between the fans and Disney and Star Wars and how this is all going to pan out. Because I didn't even like The Last Jedi. I didn't care for it. You can spin it around and say what you want, say, well, it's a different take, blah, blah, blah. It just wasn't great. I didn't like the direction. I thought the director, I'm not a big fan of that director. It's the direction of Star Wars right now that is the issue, and it's not interesting. Rogue One was not interesting. It wasn't by far terrible, but it wasn't interesting. Now they're talking about making a Boba Fett, however you want to pronounce it, the bounty hunter, a spin-off about him, and a movie about that character, the character that was already in the prequels. Let me tell you something. I could care less about his background. I just want that guy to be a character. I don't want a full movie about that. I think that's probably the issue here is we're exploring backgrounds and history on things that we don't want to know. It's not really progressing the story of Star Wars. It's going backwards and just trying to explain why things are the way they are. Now my impression of Solo as a character is kind of ruined. So it didn't do anything for me, and in fact it had a negative impact on me. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a good day. We will talk to you soon.